Mr. Langman. Langman! Joshua Heath Langman.
Oh my God.
You have been summoned to the
Council of Inner Voices. Yes. What do you want this time?
There is something you must...
Wait. Hang on, you've changed location. Where is this? This is my subconscious. How have you...
It is your subconscious. It's quite comfortable.
Supermarkets within walking distance too.
Look, you guys cannot be living here, all right? I just told all my followers I was gonna come back to YouTube. I need all this space clear so I can start moving in video ideas. And I cannot have
New video idea for Josh Langman. One, re-uploading the Gordon Ramsay video, even though your boss told you to take it down.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, just add it to the pile.
Okay.
Thanks. And I cannot have you clogging up my brain with self-doubt. What the hell is that? What are you doing?
Well, nothing. I was just trying to put this box down.
Stop!
Yeah.
What the hell is going on?
You can't take new video ideas right now.
What? What? Why?
You intend to move forward, but you have unfinished business.
What are you talking about?
Something you've forgotten to address. You may not resume your YouTube duties until you have done so.
Yes, I understand. Just stop talking in cryptics, all right? What do you mean? Are we talking...
Josh Langman, you must explain yourself.
Yeah, okay.
Hello! If you're still here, how are you going? Good? Good. The very first thing I need to say to you right now is thank you. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you for all your kind words. Thank you so much for encouraging me or telling me you're proud or emailing me or messaging me or saying something to me in person. And thank you so much for your patience. I'm very excited to finally pull the trigger on doing some of this again to mark 15 years since the creation of my first ever YouTube channel and started doing the thing that pretty much defines who I am today after what has certainly been the longest hiatus I've ever taken. And throughout that time, I hope that life has been treating you really well and that you've enjoyed your last 4 years, because I know I have. Since I saw you last, a lot has changed. Now, I made a vow to myself that I was gonna shake up my life, and I like to think I'm a man of my word. So I stepped away from YouTube and decided to focus purely on other stuff. First on the agenda was leveling up my social game. I started practicing gratitude for the friends and family I had in my life, trying to be more present instead of zoning out 24/7, and even had a crack at some rather interesting social experiments, even some rejection therapy too. I went from introvert to ambivert. I got better at everyday conversations, introducing myself, eye contact, listening, caring, started really pushing the limits of what I thought was possible for myself. I finished my uni degree, made some new friends, conquered acne, conquered my chronic eczema, got a brand new car, had a little glow up, lived alone for the first time, ditched social media on my phone, wrote and directed my first ever short film, lived with flatmates for the first time, and now I have an amazing job working with amazing people on one of Australia's longest running television programs, BTN. And for the first time in what feels like a long time, I feel complete. You know, I'd still have things to figure out, everyone does, but right now, life is good. But even with all of this, I still can't shake the feeling that there's something kind of missing from my life, and I think it's this. Coming back has been a tricky decision for me. It's something I've known I've wanted to do for at least the last 1.5 to 2 years now, but I haven't been able to stop going over in my head how I should do it. Should I do the same stuff I was doing before, because there's actually a little bit of appeal to me now in doing some of that again, or should I just try completely new stuff now, because there's also an appeal to me in that? So should I just make and upload whatever while still being consistent in upload frequency, or should I just make and upload whatever whenever and think less about upload frequency? You can already see the problem. I'm I'm overthinking it way too much, which is leading me to do nothing, which is worse. But I don't care anymore. I'm done thinking about all this. I'm just gonna start making stuff and we're gonna see what happens together. And the first order of business is this video. I have known for a little while that this was gonna be one of my first videos back, and I wasn't sure how I was gonna talk about this, or whether I wanted to talk about this, or whether it was even a good idea for me to talk about this. But there's a big part of me that doesn't feel like I can just move forward and continue without addressing this elephant in the room. So here goes. Do you remember the last time you saw me?
I don't want to do sketch comedy anymore. I've been so subconsciously egotistical about it for ages. I want to do risky things. I want to do things that could result in me being cancelled. Or maybe this is just the Roaccutane talking, because those are the acne medications I'm on.
No.
Ah, yes. Turning Point, a video I made in October of 2021. You always know it's a good sign when a content creator drops their whole persona and makes a 30-minute video rambling to their phone camera in the car. This video was the last thing I made before I vanished, and it was, no joke, the lowest point I've ever had in my creative life. If you haven't seen this video, this was a raw, unscripted video of me talking to camera about how making YouTube videos, or making anything for that matter, just wasn't bringing me the same joy that it once did anymore. And these feelings I was having were really confusing to me at the time, because I just didn't understand. I had everything going for me. I was steadily growing, I was steadily making stuff here and there, people were liking the stuff I was making, and I had had really good things happen to me. Like, I had even been shouted out by one of my favorite YouTubers of all time. And dude, my head was just not in the game. And this freaked the ever-loving fuck out of me. And that's because doing this, YouTube, mattered so much to me back then. And it still does. Since the age of 10, I had made YouTube and making videos basically my entire identity. Every day, I'd come home from school, I'd work on a YouTube video. On the weekends, I'd work on YouTube videos. I would turn down social opportunities to work on YouTube videos. From the moment I woke up in the morning to the moment I went to sleep at night, this was all I cared about doing. So you can imagine that when things kind of started crumbling for me a little bit, it was bad. I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. That video actually isn't there anymore. Oh yeah, I see you typing in Turning Point, trying to find Josh Langman's incriminating video. Look, it had to come down, and that's for a multitude of reasons, but the main one is that that's just not how I feel anymore. I've grown quite a lot since then, and now I can look at everything I was going through at the time through a much clearer lens. And now, I have the unique opportunity to revisit that and clear a few things up. And the first thing I need to do, as that video has had time to sit, I've had time to grow, and time has passed, is to apologize. While I was, and to be honest, sort of still am, quite proud of what that video represented for me and my ability to act on my feelings, that video was entirely fueled by impulsivity, and certain aspects of it were a bit reckless. Let me explain. Making this video felt unbelievably cathartic. I had had this sense for a while that I was just stuck as a creative and as a person, and it seemed like the only antidote for that was going to be doing something just crazy. And a video like this was crazy for me. Word dumping how I felt in a raw, unscripted, unpolished manner after years of being such a perfectionist and having to script every word and thought I had. I had never done anything like it before. I remember coming out of that just feeling so refreshed and invigorated by every single thing that I had said. And you can even see this during the video if you watch me the longer I talk, because it was all just the truth spilling out of me.
Holy shit, I feel really good right now.
But why did I even need to make that video, right? Why did I even need to tell you any of that? I could have just packed up and left and not made a hell of a fuss about it. That would have been the normal thing to do, but I could not bring myself to do that. I had built up such a connection and in some ways reliance on my audience that my biggest fear at the time was turning around and leaving and someone saying, "Oh, where'd he go? He didn't say anything." And I just could not do it. I wouldn't have been able to sleep. I hated the idea of leaving all of you in the dark, and because of that, I felt this overwhelming urge to explain myself. But what I know now is that even if you try, there are only so many words in our vocabulary that we can use to sum up and describe the absolute chaos that happens in our brains. And if you're going to try and explain yourself to a huge group of human beings on the internet who you don't know while you're in a weird headspace, there are two things that are going to happen. One is you're going to say some stuff that is positive. It resonates with people, it's a positive message, and it has a positive impact, which is good. And two, you're gonna say some stuff that makes people go, huh? The point I'm getting at is I worry that I may have hurt people with some of the things that I had to say in that video. I wasn't angry or anything, I didn't say any slurs or anything, God forbid, but I do think that I said some things that could be interpreted as quite arrogant. At the time, I needed there to be a reason I was feeling the way I was feeling. I had everything and I was feeling unsatisfied and unhappy. Why? That doesn't make any sense. Well, let me tell you, I could not figure out the answer to that fucking question no matter how many different ways I looked at it. And that led me to say some stuff like this.
I don't want to have to play things safe anymore. I want to invite comments that aren't just purely congratulatory of everything that I do here.
I pointed the finger at people who had been giving me nothing but support, and in my rambling sort of implied that this huge wave of people that had suddenly come my way with nothing but gratitude and kindness for the videos I was making were the cause of how I was feeling, and that those feelings would only go away if that slowed down. This was wrong. It was wrong of me to think then, and it's wrong now. What I've since realized is that that wasn't what was causing the problem at all. In reality, you know when your computer is just doing some really weird shit, so you think that the solution to that is also going to be some really complex thing, but then it turns out restarting the computer just fixes the whole thing? Yeah, that's what this was. I just needed to restart. I had given YouTube my all. So when that passion came crashing down, so did my life. And that's the version of me you saw the last time you saw me. So I just had to go off and factory reset my brain. And I think it worked. And I know I finished Turning Point by saying,
I need time off to get my shit together and come back with something new.
But to be honest, beyond a certain point, I actually became really comfortable with the idea of not coming back. And after enough time away, that little voice in my head that was ruining my ability to be creative in a pure way vanished. It took time, but it did happen. And then a little while after that, I started to miss doing this. And I started thinking about doing this again, and how I would go about doing this again, and what type of things I would make if I did do this again, and how I could do it differently, and how I could do it more sustainably so we don't just end up at another fucking turning point. But all jokes aside, this whole journey helped me to realize that the feelings that I had when I made Turning Point were nothing more than just a manifestation of burnout. And that to get back to this hobby that I held so dearly, I just needed to detach. At this time, I was also saying things like,
I just feel like I haven't been grateful enough for what I have. I feel like I have been taking everything for granted, and I'm taking advantage of you, and I'm not being grateful enough physically for what I have.
And that was because I felt like the success I was having just wasn't making me happy enough. For context, a few months before all of this went down, I had landed myself in a film festival hosted by Jax Films. He is one of my absolute YouTube heroes, and he even gave me a personal shout out and everything. I remember being in one of my uni classes, and one of my friends at the time texting me saying, Jax Films is reacting to your video on stream, everyone's going nuts, and just bolting out to my car after the class and just scrolling through comments sitting there and just feeling amazing. It was just an incredible, incredible feeling. I had worked so hard over so many years for an achievement like that, and I got it. And then after a while, that feeling just slowly started to go away. And then I was just back to thinking of what the next video could be again, like nothing had happened. just get back on the horse and do it all over again. Except then you have to figure out, why are you still riding the horse if you already won the race? You know, what are you hoping to get out of all of it? I know what you're thinking. Langman, it's just YouTube, it's not that deep. You've got to remember, this stuff was my entire existence back then. This was life and death for me, and it certainly felt that way. I was distraught and confused when it didn't play out emotionally in the way I had pictured it to for all those years. But what you eventually realize is, you get back on the horse because you love the feeling of riding, not because you're trying to win the race. And even if you do win, that doesn't mean you can't ride anymore. And it certainly doesn't mean the adventure stops there. And now, after a lot of time has passed, I can look back on that experience of receiving all that love with a lot of satisfaction. Oh, wow, we're getting that lovely golden hour now. Look at this. Oh. You know, at the time, I thought that maybe I just wasn't successful enough. But I was. I had thousands upon thousands of people watching my work. And in retrospect, maybe I was the normal amount of happy and I just didn't realize it. Or maybe I just don't feel or express gratitude in the same way that a lot of other people do. You know, on social media, we get bombarded with videos of content creators, celebrities, or just everyday people bursting into tears or getting overly emotional at something they've been gifted or an award they've won or something generally good that's happened to them. And good on them, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. I think that, you know, the fact that they can express such a raw emotional happiness to something is really, really good. And I think you'd agree, you know, it gets us all in the feels. It's heartwarming, it's inspirational. But I believe it also sets an unrealistic expectation of how we're all supposed to react to good stuff happening to us. So then when something good does happen to you and you don't burst into these same kinds of tears of happiness, it fills you with this feeling of, oh, I'm not grateful. Something must be wrong. That's kind of what I went through here. And it's a pretty confusing thing to go through. And it made me feel like I wasn't grateful and that there was something wrong with me. What I realize now is just that's not true at all. You know, some people cry tears of joy and some people just don't really show it. You know, everyone has different ways of showing and expressing and feeling gratitude. And that's not something I really hear people talk about much. For me, I just think maybe I'm not really the type to show it in an extreme way, but that does not mean I'm not grateful. I know that now, and I've had enough time away now to know for sure I am very grateful for every single one of you. Thinking about doing this again has started to fill me with the same sense of optimism and excitement and, as an old friend once put it, childish ambition that I used to have when I was doing this as a kid. He didn't mean it as a good thing, but hear me when I say I wear that like a fucking badge of honor. And I'm so grateful for this. I'm so grateful for the fact that I've been able to do this, have success, get to know so many amazing people, and be handed a stack of incredible, just insane opportunities on a plate because of it. And that gratitude is not going away. So, to anyone that watched Turning Point and found that it made you feel unloved, unvalued, like I was ungrateful for your being here and your support, or if you were just hurt by any of the things that I had to say in that video, I am genuinely really, really sorry. This was not my goal at all, and I really hate the thought that this is what the video may have resulted in. And if after all that, you still reached out to leave a comment or message me or do something to support me and what I was going through during that time, thank you so much. This really, really helped me. And just to finish, my hope is that people can learn a thing or two from what I've been through here. You know, I wouldn't wish this type of burnout on anyone. So just remember, it's okay to feel overwhelmed, even by the things you thought you wanted. And it's okay to not have an answer for why. But don't turn yourself into knots trying to explain yourself or even trying to find an answer, because sometimes there won't be one. And in reality, all you need to do is turn it off and turn it back on again.
New video idea, Zombie Rap 3.
Yeah, add it to the maybe pile.
Okay.
So I guess we're done here then.
For now.
You know, it's funny, revisiting this whole thing made me realize something. You know, burning out, making that whole video, and then leaving. All of that happened because I got in my own head. And I've been in it way too much. As have you.
What exactly are you saying?
I'm saying the Council of Inner Voices has been evicted. Get out.
Evicted.
And where exactly did you get a gun?
Dude, this is my subconscious. I can literally conjure anything in here. Watch. A girlfriend. A girlfriend.
Try not to run a gun into your videos. Challenge impossible.
Shut up!
This is a stupid idea, Langman, and you know it. Explain yourself.
No, I don't think I will. Needing to explain myself is what got me in this whole mess to begin with. No more.
We protect you.
You slow me down. And I've got quite a lot of work to do, so I will not ask again. All of you. Out.
You can't keep us at bay forever.
Our guidance is necessary for your success.
This platform isn't what it used to be. It'll kill you within a year.
You're just gonna get stuck in the same loop
And then
again.
you'll make another video in the driver's seat.
You've got better things to
You're
focus on.
abandoning the promises you
You will
made.
never make any.
Same old
Stop! We regenerate, you know. This won't stop us.
Yeah, I know. But this will keep you quiet for a while.
No, 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 no!